like your credits went through just fine. Fantastic. Now, where was I? Right. You were asking about the mercs, Nox Solaris. Well, friend, you have come to the right man. Been their humble street pharmacist since just after they got together. Some of my best clients, by the way. But more importantly for you, they're the best there is at what they do. I mean, what a group. Leader's a bona fide Atlantean voyager. That's right, Atlantean. Then there's the spooky techno-wizard cyborg genius. Finally, a mystic smithy giant. 12 feet tall if he's an inch. Not to mention the mountain of a spirit bear he calls brother. Now, I can get word to him if you're looking to hire Mister. No problem there. Just let old Blitz give you 2 tiny tips for your health. First, don't get on their bad side. Make sure you have payment ready to go, and don't try to pull any bullshit, or you're worse than dead. And second, don't piss off that fucking bear.
Finally, there you are. The Nexus had just enough power to fuel one more try. The last step. The Megaverse knows my Atlantean people as heroes, but a shadow of chaos has taken root in me. They try to bind it. They try to bury it. But when I finally called out to it, to you, from across the void, you answered, I am ready.
Welcome, traveler, to the Black Shore.
Your shame reaches a mother's heart, even beyond the veil, little brother. My sister saw and mocked her as the darkness closed in. She giggled and synthesized honey-sweet tones while leaning close to softly breathe her venom into my ear. And so, with judgment passed and tourniquets in place, my family commanded the automated surgical bots to neatly slice both arms and legs from my torso. The harsh lights overhead swam and dimmed before my eyes, as flesh and bone were replaced with cold, unfeeling metal to cripple my connection to the arcane. Now, my family lies far behind my path, and I follow a new teacher as she whispers from the darkness ahead. Her voice haunts me with promises of forbidden knowledge and wonders precious beyond compare. Each step brings me closer to my prize, closer to my revenge, closer to her.
Nah, brother. My eyes read the stars as keenly as your ancient ones do. It is almost here. E is almost home. And with him comes the end for our proud and noble Vana countryman, along with the rest of the souls on this world. As his foul shadow falls upon us all, we alone stand for those who cannot. So rise, son of Aku. Our ancestors smile upon us this night as they call us home. Come and let us earn our place amongst the stars above.
Okay, welcome. We are live with our current episode of Prism of KeterFall campaign in the Rift setting. We are picking up and just going to dive right in today with the scene being set as Ymir having just latched the mystical chain around his neck, the kind of collar that seemed to collapse the portal that had torn open in the fabric of reality here within this arcane forge that our characters find themselves within. As the portal slammed shut, I believe you all had seen this individual standing on the other side where he had previously been concealed by some kind of distortion field or cloak of invisibility, some kind of concealing effect. The Forge Master Drago, actually here I'll show everybody, had been reduced to a gibbering pile of meat on the floor, who had been clutching at his neck with his eyes bulging from their sockets and his face distended and swollen, turned a deep shade of purple, apparently being choked to death by some invisible force or hand. As everybody glances around quickly, you notice that he seems to now be motionless and no longer has his arms up towards his neck as he lies on his back. He appears to have them laying out at his sides. Nobody sees any telltale signs of the rising and falling of his chest, denoting signs of life. So, as you are all looking about the confines of the room, the mocking and haunting laughter that had been echoing through this space has now died down, and you see that this individual is actually glaring at all of you with apparent just utter hatred and contempt flaring from his kind of sparkling green eyes behind his mask. You notice that in his hands, he seems to just hold some kind of length of rope. Just simple, unassuming rope. It appears to be maybe 6 or 7 feet long, and both ends appear to be frayed pretty heavily, as though it was cut slowly by something relatively blunt. As he holds the rope, it's relatively loose in his hands, but you notice he has a fairly firm grip with each hand on, a section of the rope. He takes a tentative step backwards as just a first kind of instinctual motion, and as he does so, you notice that the creature behind him seems to actually crouch down over him, almost like a living, ghastly coat of horrors. And as its limbs reach around and encompass his form, it almost appears as though this thing is trying to just completely protect what you assume to be its master, or at least its kind of associate. As this is happening, we can go ahead and roll for initiative, and we can see what happens here.
I like where your head's at.
Ymir, you do feel somewhat kind of weakened and shaken, but I will say you're not under any kind of stun effects or anything like that. You do still feel like you have complete control of yourself. It feels like when the collar went on and locked shut, it just simply flipped a switch that you now can tell felt like it was open as soon as you forged that key. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Once that circuit closed, you just feel like it's just gone, and you're just pretty much just kind of like you've exerted yourself fairly heavily, but that you're fine.
Okay.
And that's it. Okay. Sure.
Question.
Absolutely.
Have the runes around the forge or the fire changed back to their normal color, or have they changed colors back from the deep red?
They
were a deep red.
They are no longer a deep red. Everything has gone back to its original hue, and you see that the actual spell work itself is kind of flickering in and out of existence with a blue kind of illumination that's much more subtle than it was when you guys first encountered this room. So the whole thing almost seems like it's sort of shorting out.
Oh, okay. I see.
All right, so...
For initiative, my bad.
Oh, no worries. Let's see here. Oh, wait a second.
That's from the last.
Yeah, let me...
initiative roll.
Give me just 1 second here. Okay, so there's this one. Which one isn't current now?
The 2 9s.
But a commas is
Token
good.
is not selected.
Okay.
I don't even see my token.
Your token is right here.
Oh, yep, it's just low. I have to scroll down a little bit. I thought it was a little higher. That's probably why. Okay, now let's try this again.
We gotta do...
Fuck you, that was gonna be 19. Oh, really? I think I need to update my RAM. This program, Roll20, makes everything my computer run at a snail's pace for some reason recently.
I kind of got that feel too. So I was trying to like watch an anime while waiting, and it seemed choppy. I don't know if that was because of that or
No,
because
same
of
thing
that
for me.
episode.
When we've been sitting around beforehand, I've even a YouTube video, it goes frame by frame. And then like the dice roller program, when we first started playing this, I would roll the dice and it was pretty quick. Now it teleports around my screen until it stops.
Huh.
Like
Yeah,
the camera work is actually choppy even for my shit. I don't know. I might have to. I mean, I know I need to install RAM in my computer, but I'm not sure if that will help at that. But the past couple of sessions, it's been rough.
I mean, it will give it a better change.
Okay, there we go. All right, so, and yeah, guys, I'll look into it on my end too and see if there's, I don't know if some settings are off or what. I'm not sure what could be up, but I'll definitely look at
It's
things.
fine.
So,
Let's get this show on the road, baby.
all
Yeah,
right,
Mint's working. It's just
so
slow.
everything is set up. Okay, so first off, this just dark and mysterious and chaotic figure seems to start swimming backwards into what appears to be a misty field that's appearing behind him. And it almost seems like this creature behind him is pulling him backwards into this like field of mist that's appearing. Now, as this is happening, you see that he holds the rope up before him and he simply says, "Time's coming, boyo." He simply pulls the rope tight, and you notice that the mist seems to swim in and cascade all around him and surround his form as well as the creature's. Now, as it does this, he do a quarter movement. He very quickly makes it back behind this kind of cistern that you guys had seen before and seems to get into this like area of mist, and there is now a kind of misty cloud emanating out from that portion of the room that's so thick that even your enhanced vision, Akama, is starting to kind of falter. This isn't just a simple like illusion. There's actual like particulates floating out, and that's one thing that your mystic vision doesn't let you see through. It'll remove illusion and so forth, but you can't just like see through solid matter. So as it starts kind of fading from your vision, we'll switch over to next in line, which is Akama. You're standing there. You had just reached out and you had your hand on an item from the desk. Which one was it that you had taken again?
I got the monocle.
The monocle, okay.
And I'm trying to grab the blueprints.
And you're reaching for the blueprints. Okay, so as this is happening, you see this over your shoulder with a quick glance. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna finish taking the blueprints.
Okay, you quickly snatch both up in one hand to roll them up effectively into something you could transport easily. You're going to need to take a turn to go ahead and do that. So
Stow them.
okay. You go ahead and by the end of your turn, you have successfully gotten both of them rolled up, and you just quickly tuck them into like part of your tunic as easily as possible. So they're not really secure, but you're ready to go. You can still do like a bonus action if you'd like to do something.
I'll just continue to get it in as soon as possible.
You want to just secure them better? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you, instead of going with the tunic option, you actually take just a second and you've got like a satchel that they easily fit in without being damaged, and you actually get them in with the satchel secured and locked. No problem at all. So they're away.
Okay.
And where do you want to end up, just like facing, we'll say?
Toward Ymir.
Toward Ymir, okay? All right, moving on. Ymir, what do you got?
I would like to. I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Does this miasma that you said, because you said particulates, so
Yes.
it obviously has some form to it. Can can Ymir take a breath and inhale and see if there's any scent in the air? Could I roll a perception check and see if
It'll
there's...
cost your bonus action, but yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead and hit that
Plus 3 on
perception.
smell.
Yes. Give me just a second.
While he's doing that, by the way, you guys both notice, well, all three of you notice that Lars... That's right, you were going to pick him up and then he saw the the loot. Lars is still laying over by the large chest at this location. He still looks completely shell-shocked and just out of it. And Ahab, Ymir kicked him out of the circle lightly. And he
pushed him with my foot.
Yeah, he was kind of floating, so
Yeah.
so he floated over and landed relatively softly. And with a roll and a clunk or two, he's landed there and is just basically, he's catatonic as well. He's completely out. All right. So you catch a whiff of what is closest in your mind to the scent of almost like brine, like a really, really strong brine. And there's a note to it somewhere in the back that you can't place, but you can tell it's something exotic from your herbology.
Okay.
And you don't quite pick up what that is, but there's something familiar and something something is usually associated with really bad results, like a common person would think of nightshade. It's something along that, but it's something much more exotic. So you feel like it may take you a bit for that.
Okay.
And you also notice that there's a heavy odor of salt and water, basically like seawater. Okay.
Now, is it safe to assume that this is what black blood smells like? Is this black blood's particular scent? Is what
you
I'm
don't
asking.
catch that. You don't catch that
okay.
it's.
Yeah.
This almost smells like whatever the mist is. This is what it's made of.
Got it.
Now, the final thing that you notice is that just from taking a kind of inquisitive, kind of proactive sniff, you are catching a strong kind of like a tension in your sinuses that it almost feels like they're starting to kind of close up just a little bit. And this is very, very foreign to you because almost nothing you've encountered has ever caused this. Your body almost won't do that unless it's something it knows can really fucking kill it, and that's rare as hell.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what you pick up. So you've still got your action left.
So, Ymir, can he still see black blood, or is black blood completely obscured now?
He is, for all intents and purposes, he's obscured.
Fuck. Okay. Then...
Unfortunately, that's kind of most of his
Yeah.
attack. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then Ymir will, after inhaling this, he will kind of process it, download this scent, this feeling as it grips him, and he still stands there with his weapon ready, just ready for whatever comes next. He feels that tension of battle start to rise up, that little ping in his throat, and everything has got him in sort of a I wouldn't say a wild state, but it's definitely activating that fight or flight instinct. So he is readying himself for whatever comes next. He kind of maybe sturdies himself with his foot, one foot forward, holds his hammer, and steels himself for whatever comes next because of what his body is telling him after that whiff is concerned.
Okay.
Do the flames? I'm sorry. Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Do the flames react at all when Ymir takes that breath? Do they react in a similar way that like they did with Drago when he first initiated the ritual? Did have the embers dusted over towards him in any sense when he took that big inhaled breath?
No, not really. Not really.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. Then why don't you just roll? I don't think we really want to do perception for that. Let's go ahead and do just a straight IQ check, I'm thinking.
Oh.
Let me see, since you're wanting to really try and remember. Okay, so IQ 10. So go ahead and just go to the dice roller and just roll a 10 or under for me. On a 20-sided dice.
Okay, 1d20.
Yes,
10
sir.
or under.
Beautiful. All right.
Yep.
So you feel like in taking those few seconds, you 100% you have this scent locked in your memory, and you're sure that when you go to try and compare it or recall it, you are going to be able to do it with a lot of precision.
Okay.
So definitely successful. Let's see. We should be able to go like this. And okay, so now we go over to Ren. Ren, you had just picked up. What was it you picked up?
I picked up the book.
The book. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you had picked up this arcane tome. You're holding it in your hands. What would you like to do? Did you already stow it? I felt like you had already stowed it. I felt like you guys had each picked something up and then were reaching out for something else.
That was the one that he went for.
I had just gone for the book. I hadn't grabbed anything else or attempted to go for anything else.
Okay. All right, so you've got it in your hands. I will say that you've already stuffed it into a perfect kind of satchel, though, and you now, as you're reaching out for something else, you look around and you see the scene playing out in front of you. So what would you like to do?
So, GM, I've got questions.
Sure.
Briefly.
Grab the croissant.
It's a big one.
Ooh, snack.
Snack
So, see invisibility. Or see the invisible. He's not invisible. He's just obscuring his self. He's not turning into a mist.
No.
Or is he just being okay?
It
Because it says even if the creature has no form per se, the mystic will be able to discern the vapor's image or energy sphere that is the being.
Yes, indeed. No,
So
there is
that doesn't count then. So because he's not invisible, he's just obscured. So that doesn't work.
yeah, there is physical matter coming between you and him, and it's not him fading from sight as much as there's something physical surrounding him.
Yeah.
So maybe like heat signal you can see through it or something.
See, and
I don't have that.
that's how all of that works, is that you guys are gonna find, like, in snowstorms and shit like that, even Akama's mystic tattoo vision, it's going to be fouled. There's going to be different things that nothing counters everything. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, thermal is always a good thing for somebody in the group to have, something to think about.
Oh, that'd be definitely something that I would put on my goggles or my mask as soon as possible. I mean,
And again,
that,
you're technically adept enough that all you need to do is get into a shop and buy something, and you can pretty much integrate it into your HUD. So
yeah, no, I know. There's a lot of things I need to.
I have, by the way, I have just gotten a lot of assets loaded up, and so there's going to be a lot of options for, if there's things in specific you guys have in mind, make a note of it and bring it up when we have time.
I'll make a shopping list basically.
Mm-hmm. Good shit.
See, what's the range on this? How far am I away from where he's at? Like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. I'm like 60, 65 feet away.
Let me bust out my ruler real quick. Yeah.
Okay. This is just a shot in the dark. Do I get the idea he's trying to just obscure himself, or do I get the idea that he's trying to get away, or do I get nothing?
Because of how the creature wrapped him defensively, and he instantly just started, like, pulling a Dracula back into the fucking crawl space, you're getting the idea that he is not in any way dumb enough to think that he's got a chance to actually stand up to you guys, and he's 100% just trying to bail, like, as quickly and efficiently as possible.
I'm gonna move then,
and that's pretty obvious. Not obvious, but that's, you guys all pick up that same impression, is what I'm trying to say. So
yeah, I'm gonna move just 5 feet closer, so I'm in range, and I'm going to pull out my gun and use it just as a catalyst. And I'm gonna just cast a straight spell, using my gun. It's just, I'm not gonna pull a trigger or anything like that. I'm just gonna use it to aim in the center mass of the big cloud. Like this, these smoky tendrils or miasma that's formed around him.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just gonna see, it's gonna kind of look like a fucking giant staff or a wand, just like the tip of it's gonna kind of glow real quick, and you're gonna see this bright blue flash fly out, and I'm gonna cast magic net and try to grab him and hold him in place.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and roll.
Oh, should I not cast it?
Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
Let's do, I want to say, like, just a modern pistol attack. We're gonna give you, see, this is something that they don't ever talk about in the spell descriptions. Exactly how the aiming and the chance to hit really works.
It doesn't say that on the description of the spell.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't treat it that way, but I think what we should do is just have you on your profile do a,
I mean, within the 10-foot area is the net when it's spread out to grab things. So if that comes into play with the accuracy of what I need to do, that's kind of the reason why I was shooting it too. If it's kind of like, oh, there's a big thing, a cloud that can grab
And
probably what's in it.
remind me, which weapon is it that you're using?
I had my rifle out, so I just used that as my catalyst.
Okay. Fire more like a net gun than a sniper rifle. We've got.
Yeah, for
Let's
this,
see.
definitely.
Expert.
Like it's not using any of my ammo or anything like that. I'm just using the gun itself to be like the catalyst, where like the energy that would cause this magical net to come out of the barrel and follow the trajectory of the barrel. But that's like it's
So let's do. Under the active profile, let's do a modern. Just like a single. That'd do the +2. So let's have you roll the modern single against 10-foot spread out.
Single?
Because he's already got all of that. That'll let him have all of his bonuses from his weapons proficiencies, and I think he's even got a +1 on his rifle. So we'll do a modern single, and you are gonna be rolling against 10 foot. It's about 15 foot, 20 foot. But it's, it's shooting blind though. But it's
I'm aiming for center mass of the
I get you.
cloud
Just
of
hoping to
darkness.
even tag him with a little something to stick him up, kind of thing.
Even if it doesn't grab him, maybe slow him up, or it's just hey, I've got a spread of something that can possibly grab what's in there, because I'm not going to try to shoot it precisely because I don't know where he is exactly.
I mean, I'm gonna say that this isn't gonna be some cataclysmically difficult fucking shot to make. I feel like if you need to hit a 12 or above for ranged, we'll say a 15 or above, and that's so whatever your roll is plus the bonus it'll add in, it needs to be normal's 12, 15 with the +2. I think that's right. I think that sounds about right. Let's say 15 or above. And this is not a targeted shot, so it's kind of just hoping to catch something. Yeah, I think that's right.
I'm sorry, I normally would need a 12 or above, but I need a 15 for this one.
Because you're shooting into basically a cloud and a space.
No, I understand that. But does the diameter being a 10-foot wide thing instead of a single bullet? And
I'm factoring that in as a counter to. Absolutely.
Yeah, just making sure that was all being accounted.
There's usually a really heavy penalty for shooting into an obscured area, but I'm only doing a 3.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Just making sure that was part of the
absolutely,
equation.
Absolutely.
Okay. Single modern. Don't roll like shit.
Woo! Hell yeah! All right, man. Your aim is true, and as the net coalesces from the energy leaving the barrel, you see just a flash within the kind of misty smoke that's emanating out pretty rapidly now from that side of the room. You see this kind of just electric flash arc through that darkness. And as it does so, you hear a deep guttural, just kind of rage-filled fucking growl that you can tell is coming from inhuman vocal cords. You can't see any better into the situation, but right away, The cistern, the entire thing, moves slightly backwards in this direction, and you notice some arcs of energy that seem to be coming outwards from the cloud and seem to be trailing towards the cistern itself, what's still visible of it. And you realize right away that something, probably the creature, appears to have been tagged by the net, and part of the net appears to have attached itself to the cistern. Now, as soon as this happens, right after that first kind of jerking motion of the cistern, right away you all start hearing incredibly loud and piercing grinding coming from a heavy metal object digging into stone floor and being slid through tremendous force despite its great weight. So as this squealing starts echoing and building up through the chamber, you realize that an incredible strength is actually at play, and it still seems to be trying to retreat backwards into the smoke, okay? You can't tell how long this might take for it to successfully start getting this thing into motion, though, so it's kind of up in the air. Aimed, fired, cast through it. I don't, if there's another small action, bonus action you'd like to take, you're welcome to. That's kind of what you do, is just cast like that, so that's good for an action.
This magical force firing through the cloud, does it, like, blow any of it away or dissipate any of the, like, visual blockage from us? Like,
not so much. The net doesn't seem to have much physicality to it.
Yeah, I figured, yeah.
So he's just hanging out in the corner, digging the ground.
That's
basically what I get out of it.
Doing his thing in the dark.
1 to 6 human-sized victims in a 10-foot area. Normal weapons cannot cut through the net. Only mega damage weapons, magic weapons, and magic can affect this net. Even then, it requires a full 2 melee rounds to cut or blast out. Anyone caught in the magic net is helpless and unable to attack or defend. I can cancel at any time. Apparently, a dispel magic barriers will dispel it.
Now, the way I'm using this is going to be if a humanoid-sized creature is caught squarely, they're bound completely. Anything larger, I'm gonna try and spread the effect out as a kind of force instead of being necessarily targeted when it's AoE, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So
I will we don't have the stats on what my drones can still do as far as like damage or disorientation still, right? We don't have like actual like.
Well, they're also out looking for.
Oh, that's right. They're not on me. They're not even on me. They're still out and about. Never mind. Scratch that. Then I'm gonna just
What the other do?
I'm just gonna move a couple more feet right to here. Work together. And keep my eye on the thing, but do a quick kind of just check on the guy laying down before me on his state. Not like a full-on, just kind of quick,
you get over to him and kneel down and you begin an assessment.
Okay, sure.
You got plenty to do that, so. Okay. Round 2. You guys hear the squeal intensify, and you see that the cistern slides back even further over the course of a few seconds, and you no longer see that individual in the corner anymore, at all. You now see simply a huge billowing kind of cloud that's rolling out from that corner. You hear what sounds like the barrels you had seen previously in the corner over tip, and as you hear the kind of cascading, echoing, crystalline sounds of gems and ingots spilling about, you guys see hundreds and hundreds of multicolored gems and just all kinds of variety of stones and ingots spill out in a small wave across the floor, extending all the way out to about here. So this whole section in the rear is now covered by smoke out to about here or so. And just in front of all of the smoke and mist is that kind of layer of gems and ingots that have now spilled to the ground. Now, you guys continue hearing the now completely obscured cistern sliding backwards even past where the barrels were, and apparently it now sounds like it's moving further back than the wall itself was in the few seconds that transpire next. You hear no cat calls, no further chiding, no gloating, no more laughter. All you guys are hearing is the low, deep kind of growling of the creature apparently under great struggle, and having to exert just sheer main strength. But its companion, the human, he seems to no longer be interested in trading barbs or antagonizing you. His silence gives you a definite indication that he's taking all of you extremely seriously. The only thing you're hearing from him through all of this are small whispering, almost like commands and encouragement. Almost like you can hear him trying to order this creature to do something faster, or hurry up. Those kinds of little just outbursts.
Yep.
But just on the edge of your hearing. All right, and that's all you guys hear for the time being. There is one last sound that echoes through in those few seconds, and that is all of the sudden you hear what sounds like maybe cobblestones, large chunks of stone, all of the sudden start getting ripped and torn. So there's these kind of splintering, cracking noises of stone being kind of shorn just through tension alone. And that's it. Okay, so next up, we have a comma.
So after I went ahead and scooped up those blueprints, I put them away. I see this guy in the corner. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and reach up and touch one of my tattoos on my forearm, and I'm going to summon Xander, my shadow wolf.
Okay. All right. Very good. It has been a while since we messed with this. Where would you like to summon him? Things like this, you basically need to summon it next to you.
Like right here? Does this work?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're
Okay.
trying to summon him like maybe like right here. Cause of his how big he is.
I'd like it to be somewhere where basically you reach out and within your reach, wherever your hand stops, that's where like some part of it begins.
I like touch it and then make like a shadow puppet of a wolf.
Like the thing you're like, "Rawr, rawr, rawr."
That's good. That's
No,
good.
not like a dog.
That's good.
Not like a dog. Looks like, I don't know. And
He's
just
like,
send it
"Yo."
out in front of me.
Let's see. All right. All right. So as you finally use this forbidden magic, you activate the tattoo and a energy pattern ripples out before you, coalescing into a kind of mystical framework that quickly solidifies into a savage and primal predatory creature. This
Looks so good too when
tattoo
you pull it out.
this tattoo has very profound significance for you that you haven't shared with many living individuals in your history, but the creature that it pays homage to is a mighty and fearsome combatant indeed. And you know that through the few times you've had to utilize this magic, this thing is more than capable of dispatching most opponents. So as it forms completely and coalesces, it lets out a kind of low rumbling kind of growl. And do you usually... You will use verbal commands to kind of instruct it on what you wish for it to do to fulfill your will. What would you like to say? How do you want to instruct it? You could nod at an individual, just kind of like, yeah, him. You could say something. You could, I want to give you an opportunity to do whatever he actually does. The limit of it is simply it can't read your mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it'll be more the lines of I'll go ahead and I'll point toward the misty area and I'll just say feast.
Should actually be like that. Okay. All right. As you say this, it instantly spins around and kind of crouches low and prepares to start sprinting towards that section of the room. As it does so, you do notice that even though this thing is a construct, as it turns towards that section of the room, you see it kind of cock its head to the side just a little bit and get almost like not a look of uncertainty, but almost like it takes it just a half a beat to really get a read on what it's looking at. And this is usually it's usually kind of like a bullet. You just fire it and it goes. So as this happens, you just take note of it. Now as I said, it crouches low. I want to make sure that we give an accurate description.
Oh yeah, might be.
Do you
Oh, Did
Let me
it work?
see here.
Did I do it twice?
Nope. Just once on my screen.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, I kinda... Well, that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the description for it. Do you want to go ahead and just...
I have it down in the bottom. I basically said, like, nomad art, and then I said Crimson Howl, and then, basically, I summon like a wolf-like creature covered in smoke and magma.
Okay. And what are its dimensions again? I felt like it was
24, 36, only if she's 5'3".
I felt like it was fairly large,
Yeah.
like bigger than a horse. You know what I
7
mean?
feet in height. When it stands upright, it's 15 feet tall.
Okay. All right, so 7 foot, 15 foot. Okay, yeah, then that should be about good. We'll give it about 4 squares like that. All right, so yes, this creature kind of crouches low. Its wicked curved talons dig sharply into the stone upon which you guys stand, and as its muscles tense, it prepares to lunge itself forward into the encroaching mist and unleashes fury for its master. All right, so a comma. You cast that. You can also take a bonus action if you like.
I'm gonna pick up Lars.
Okay, you reach down, you secure him very quickly, just kind of whipping him up over one shoulder and standing back up super quick.
That's it.
And this isn't even this is nothing to you with your supernatural strength, so it's just as easy as just reaching down, picking up some dog food, putting it on your shoulder. So all right, moving on. Ymir, what do you got? If you're Ymir, if you're talking, I'm not sure if...
No.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
sorry about that. I
No worries.
got double tap. Yeah, I got double tapped there for a second. I had my headphones off. The last thing I heard was you were describing Kama's wolf. Can you give me a recap?
Oh, sure. The
Yeah.
wolf is just prepared to lunge into the mist and start attacking.
If you click on the, I don't know if you can click on the token.
No,
of
yeah,
the
I
wolf
mean,
enemy.
I could see it on the map. I could see it. I can't click on it, but yeah, I could see it. Yeah.
So it when you're close to it, you can hear sizzling, like an audio of sizzling. It has 3 horns, smoky tails, black all around with red spots.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yep.
All right.
Can Ymir see the not Black Blood himself, but the creature? Is he revealed to him at all, or is it's still obscured in smoke? Does he
Completely
have any
obscured.
idea? Okay, completely obscured. All right. Well, before I take an action, I've got something well, I guess this is an action. Ymir points to hearing the struggling in the background, because he heard that, right? He heard Black Blood struggling and the creature struggling. He heard...
Oh yeah,
he
this
heard
is all so loud, especially with the grinding. It's
Yep.
so loud that it's like you guys are right at the level where you almost have to cover your ears, or else you know it's gonna fucking cause serious damage. It's like epically loud.
Well, given his demeanor beforehand and everything that's going on, Ymir, still standing his ground, takes a step forward. So he's still connected to the chain, but he moves about right there, I would say. Still connected, though, still, tethered up. Tethered up.
I'll say this: as you kind of look down at the chain as you start moving, you see that the runes and everything are completely powered down. You're not picking up any semblance of like magic or enchantment
I don't feel
of
like
anything
I'm being-
active. Nothing.
I'm
The
not
switch
being
was
held,
flipped. Period. The whole circuit's
and
dead.
Okay. All right. So it's not like okay, meta, sorry. I thought that maybe if I were to unlock the chain from his neck, that something bad would happen. So
You
I
do not get
continue.
that impression.
Okay.
Definitely
all right.
not.
So Ymir pulls the chain from his neck then with force. Then
It
primal
snaps
force
free easily.
rips the chain from his neck and points his hammer at the position of where the net hit, somewhere in the darkness, in the obscured smoke, and goes, "Coward, ambush hunter. You only deal with your victims from fear, don't you? That's the only reason why you even approached me in the first place in the alley. You dealt from fear. Now you meet me unleashed." And he just points his fucking hammer and makes this solemn declaration after he snaps the chain off of his neck. Because he's very upset. He remembers when when they met in the alley, Black Blood was basically trying to intimidate him and use his power, and he felt like he was an ambush hunter. Like, he would not face him one-on-one. He had to skulk at him from the shadows like a coward rather than face him one-on-one or in some more direct confrontation. So he makes that declaration known as he takes steps forward, rage building in his voice.
Okay.
And I may not have your scent, but I have what follows you now. It goes both ways, creature.
Okay. No response issues forth from the darkness. Just more commands of urgency being issued to the creature. But you are certain that it heard your words.
Good.
Okay. Kind of reciting all of that is about what you're able to do. Is there any small other... Okay.
No, that's what I wanted to do. And
okay. You make a powerful statement with...
Yes.
With how you present yourself with this.
Because Ymir was very he felt like when Black Blood was saying, "Oh, I've got your scent," that was like him trying to be prey, and he's letting him know he is nobody's fucking prey. You are fucking with the wrong one.
All right.
This is the wrong giant to be tussling with. If you're gonna make a blood oath, like that, he's gonna make a blood oath right back on you. And so that was the subtext behind the declaration or statement.
All right. Man, excellent. Sounds good. Let's move to Ren. What would you like to do?
If I can.
You do have Ahab, I'm sorry, pretty much hoisted up. You've got him secured.
Okay, so while he's kind of over my shoulder, I'm gonna kind of touch both of my arms at the same time, like with my other arm, and I'm going to try to use my arms as a catalyst here And I'm gonna cast superhuman strength.
Okay. As soon as you activate the enchantment through your prosthetics, immediately you feel the physical body, not necessarily the limbs themselves, but you feel the physical body connected to your magic suddenly become fully empowered to the level that you've only actually been able to enjoy a few times over, your lifespan so far. None of these spells are things that necessarily are cast just for fun very often. Anything that's a decent sized working of magic, it's just usually not something that people play around with. But every time you've enjoyed the sensation of this, it strikes you how unbelievably unaware creatures born with this strength are of the privilege that they walk around with being just apex predators. And as you feel that strength flow through your organic, self once again, you realize that also the technology that is enabling you full function just naturally seems to be enhanced along with it. But the part that really strikes your mind significantly is how amazing your organics feel under this enchantment. You feel the strength swell within you, and right away the weight of this individual becomes like that of a pillow. As